So I'm on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints webpage right now, reading about presidency. Mormon president. Jesus Christ leads his church through a prophet who acts as the president of the church and two apostles who are called to be the prophet's counselors. This group is known as the First Presidency. It is the highest governing body of the church. So, prophet. Jesus Christ leads his church through a prophet who acts as the president of the church. So the president of the church is always a prophet. Now, what does God say about prophets? Deuteronomy 18, 21, and 22. And if you say in your heart, how may we know the word that the Lord has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the word does not come to pass or come true, that is a word that the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You need not be afraid of him. Don't be afraid of this prophet, because he's spoken words that are not from the Lord. Or, let me see. Let me pull up the other verse. Read full chapter. I didn't quite get the one. Verse 20, but the prophet who presumes to speak a word in my name that I have not commanded him to speak. And you can read, you can read on. So when it comes to the Mormon church and you've got a prophet in charge of your church that the whole thing kind of hangs on, that the whole thing hangs on, basically, what do you lost my train of thought. It was there and it's gone. I don't remember what it was. Okay, racism. Do you think God teaches racism? Acts 10:34 through 35. So Peter opened his mouth and said, truly I understand that God shows no partiality, but in every nation who fears and who fears him and does what is right is acceptable to him. Now here's a question. Let's say, God, a racist God, doesn't like black people, doesn't love black people. Would he die for them? Would you ever die for someone you don't love? Who did Jesus die for? John 3:16. God so loved the world that just white people, whoever believes in him should not perish but have everlasting life. So we're all equal. We're all the same. We're all the same people. Race itself is a construct. There's the human race, and there's just shades of colors from where people were born and whatever. So is racism, and I could I could dig into this or whatever, but I don't think I really need to go too far. Other than I think this is pretty good. Explain that racism is not good. Would you say that opposing interracial relationships to the point of death, if you marry someone of a different skin color than you, would you say that is racism? So, reading Brigham Young, second president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a prophet, and if he gets something wrong, he's not a prophet, teaching racism, which is pretty clearly not something God spoke. So, Journal of Discourses 110. Let me see. let me zoom in a little. There we go. Should I tell you, this is not his opinion. This is nothing like that. This is the facts that he believes. I wasn't sure if I was unpaused for a second. That would have been weird. Shall I tell you the law of God? He believes it's God. In regard to the African race, if the white man who belongs to the chosen seed mixes his blood with the seed of Cain, who's the seed of Cain? He's telling you the law of God in regard to the African race. So if the white, better seed mixes with the African race, the penalty under the law of God is death on the spot. Now, I guess I'll just let you piece the rest of that together.